Hi, rest. What does that actually mean to people? For a long time, I didn't know how to rest. I was so busy being busy, and particularly during the COVID season, rest was just not a word I was familiar with. I was busy doing, being, all those things. For those of you who don't know me, welcome to my channel. My name is Beverly Powell and I'm the author and founder of Rest, Rise and Reclaim. And on this channel, I talk about all things rest. I talk about all things rising, and I also talk about all things reclaiming and reclaiming ourselves. And this morning I'm out for a walk. It's far cooler, but I wanted to focus on rest and what that means. What I now know when I reflect as a trauma-informed coach as well, I was perhaps operating on my nervous system, and certainly during the COVID seasons it was far better for me to be busy being busy, and then I didn't have to really focus on the trauma that was happening. And certainly in the organisation I worked in within the NHS, losing lots of black and brown colleagues, just dropping like flies. And so it was good for me to be busy being busy. I didn't know what rest meant, and so my focus there was on how to rest. And it took me a long time to really get to grips with rest, a long time, and it took me a while to undo my learned behaviour. My nervous system was wired, and that's the way I operated. And the more I did, and the more I delivered, and I was known as a deliverer, a can-do person. I was put in to lead on projects and a variety of different things because Beverly can do, Beverly can make it happen, and I thrived on that. And then menopause kicked in, and my body said, actually, not today, Beverly, and not for a while. I'm going to slow you down. And that's when I experienced during that period, my first anxiety attack, and trying to manage that. And certainly in lockdown, managing that, managing work, managing those demands, cortisol levels were very high. And so I really didn't know how to rest. There were so many things on social media, do this, do that, but it didn't really work for me. I guess I was so far up in my head with the theoretical. I understood it from a theoretical perspective, but it wasn't dropping down into the body. And what I have learned is to really understand rest is to move away from the cognitive stuff and drop down into the body. And I ask myself, how does that feel in my body? Where are the challenges? Where are the blockages? What do I need to do? And also slow down my pace of life, which in turn was my strategy to retire. I knew what I had to do, and I was very clear on why I had to do it, and very clear on how and the what as well. So that's a little bit of one of the reasons I chose to founder Rest, Rise and Reclaim, and why the focus is on one of those key themes, which is on rest. And that is my theory, my story centered around rest. And so just want to ask you, what do you do in terms of rest? Do you find it easy to rest? Some of you may have years and years of being busy, doing busy, and not knowing how to rest. And also tied up with that, I felt guilty for resting and sitting down and having 5 minutes. I felt guilty. I knew that I should be doing something. I felt I should be doing something. And what would people think? It was all that tied up with rest, tied up with guilt, probably shame. But actually, in this season, I've given myself permission to rest. I've given myself permission to enjoy life. I've given myself permission to do all those things without seeking anyone's validation, asking anybody a question. It's all about that. And so back to the theory of rest, or my philosophy on rest. What are your thoughts on rest? How are you managing rest? Or does it come easy? If it does, please do share. It would be good for others who are subscribed to this channel. But rest is key in this season of menopause or coming up to menopause. So many clients of mine, we've had conversations and they were so busy being busy and panicking because they hadn't delivered, or they had to unpick something because they struggled with brain fog, and they were leading teams and what will people think, not having lunch, not taking in liquids, just busy having work, and then not being able to rest because their nervous system was so wired. The nervous system talks to us, and it's about, do we understand it? Do we listen to our bodies? So those are a couple of questions. Those are some thoughts while I'm out in nature. And rest is actually a leadership practice. So wishing you well. Hoping that you find time to rest today. If you do, please do drop in the chat how you find rest. And also, the other piece is, if you aren't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. If you like what I've just shared with you, please like, and I'd love to hear your comments, your reflections. And for now, that bench there is calling to me, so I'm just going to take in some liquids and then continue with my walk. But whatever you do, I'm wishing you a wonderful day. Bye for now.